Bonjour classe. Today we'll be discussing the Imaprfait and then when to use the Imaprfait versus the Passé composé. Both items where verbs are put in describing actions or events in the past. So in English, to say something repeatedly or habitually, and the word habit is in habitually, so you know it's frequent. So they give a few examples in English here. When I was young, I used to play soccer. When I was young, I would play soccer. When I was young, I played soccer. Not anymore. So the difference with being last weekend I played soccer would be passé composé, because that was a one-time event in the past. So these expressions are all included in the Imaprfait. I used to play, I would have played, I played, also I was playing, which isn't mentioned here. So the expression quand j'étais petit, je jouais au foot. So when I was young, I used to play soccer. When I was young, I played soccer. So the Imaprfait formation is one of the most easy to form in the French language because it is so consistent. You take the new form of any verb and you chop off ONS, and then you add the following endings. For je, AIS, tu, AIS, il, elle, on, AIT, nous, IONS, vous, IOZ, and il, elle, pluriel, AIONT. Être is the only irregular, and the root form for être is E accent aigu, T. Some of these we've already used in previous, for the vocabulary, for instance, when we had expressions like il y avait, c'était, il faisait. Those were all expressions using the Imaprfait. So it's good that we've had a little practice already with the tense. So when to use it, of course, we're talking about events that used to happen in the past or were happening. And they'd also describe scenes and situations. So we talked about in a movie, there are actions, things that take place, but there's also things going on around it. Maybe it could be the weather or a description of the scene. Those would be the Imaprfait, whereas the actions are going to be passé composé. So they give a few examples here. Quand j'étais enfant, on allait souvent à la montagne. When I was young, when I was a child, we used to often go to the mountain. Il faisait beau et la mer était bleue. It was a beautiful day and the ocean was blue. Again, both describing the top one being a habitual event, and the bottom, the description of a scene in the past. And then past events that happen at a specific time, we use the passé composé, and it's usually a well-defined period of time. So for instance, hier, Fabrice est parti en vacances. So yesterday, the specific time, Fabrice left for vacation. Sonia a rendu visite à ses grands-parents l'été dernier. So last summer, again, a very specific time in the past, Sophie visited her grandparents. There can also be a combination of the two in one sentence. So when a continuous action is interrupted, the Imaprfait being the continuous action, and the passé composé would be the verb tense to interrupt this continuous action. So they give us an example. Elisa faisait sa valise quand son copain lui a téléphoné. So Elisa was packing her bags when her friend called. And there you go. Passé composé Imaprfait, how to form the Imaprfait, and when to use the Imaprfait, and when passé composé Imaprfait, when to use them in each situation. Au revoir.